welcome to America 451. Now, why is it called America 451? Well, if you read the book Fahrenheit 451, or Fahrenheit 451, then you know that paper starts burning at 451 degrees Fahrenheit. Actually, a little bit lower. But maybe Fahrenheit 440 didn't sound so great to Ray Bradbury. Anyway, I think America is burning, and I'm fed up with it. I'm an older American. I've lived through a lot in my lifetime. I can remember back to the Kennedy assassination up through yesterday. Yesterday, not quite as clear. I've lived through Nixon. I've lived through Vietnam. I've lived through 9/11. I know what it's like for America to be in trouble. I know what it's like for us to disagree. I know what it's like for us to think our party is better than the other party. But we're in a different world now. And we're in a very dangerous world now with the way things are going. If you think watching this you're going to hear a bunch of Trump bashing, well, you're correct. You will. But you're also going to hear a lot of Democrat bashing too. Because I don't believe one person or one party put us where we are today. I think it was a series of events, and culturally, wake up white people, because this is coming at you soon, culturally, we just couldn't take it anymore. And our reaction was so extreme that we went a whole different direction in what's right for this country. And we got to do something about it. We've got to find a way to start talking to each other again. My God, last weekend was the weekend that former President Trump, there was an assassination attempt on his life. Have we really come back to that? You know, growing up in the 60s, I remember Kennedy, both Kennedy, the Kennedy brothers, and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. It seemed like that was the solution to getting rid of the problems. Again, with Ronald Reagan in the 80s, an assassination attempt. But I had hoped and thought that we've gotten way beyond that. And I guess we haven't, because when it came down to it for a young kid in Pennsylvania, he thought the only way to make things better was to kill someone. And that is not the way to make things better. Discussing, compromise is the way to make things better. And that's what we have to get back to in this country. So let's kind of get down to it right now, okay? Let's start thinking and talking about how we got to where we are. And I think it all comes back to one thing. Back in 2008, America dared to elect a black man president. And I just think there were some people, I think it's a lot of white people, to be honest, that just couldn't handle that anymore. The fact that he was a Democrat was even worse. President Barack Obama, to me, was a wonderful president. And I'm going to tell you something, the truth. When he was running against John McCain, I was going to vote for McCain. I liked John McCain. I was a John McCain Republican at the time. It was his selection for vice president that put me off of him. But I think John McCain was a great American. I think he was a great hero. Did he have faults? Were there problems? Yes. But I think he, like Barack Obama, was thinking about what was best for the country at that time. Barack Obama managed to do a lot of things. He brought medical insurance to the common American and made sure that big pharma and the medical insurance companies that now run our health couldn't do that anymore. And what have the Republicans done since then? They've tried to repeal it and bring it down. Why? I say to Congress, if you want to repeal Obamacare, then you stop taking insurance after you're done with your job. No more insurance for you and your family after you stop being in the House or in the Senate or whatever it might be. You don't get it anymore. Now you have to get it like every other American. It'll put an end to that real fast. But because of our reaction to Barack Obama being president, and that's when Donald Trump started his attacks on Obama not being an American citizen, we started losing sight of reality and of truth. That's something we've got to get back. We've got to start looking at things the way they really, really are. So what do we do about Donald Trump? Well, let's face facts. For those who don't like Trump, don't want him to be the next president, I do not want him to be a president ever again. That's how I feel. And not because he's a Republican. No. Because he's Donald Trump. And I think Donald Trump is a liar. Flat out. I think there's something seriously wrong with the man. And I don't believe he has America's best interest at heart. That's my opinion. This is the guy who told us, when COVID was breaking out, drink bleach. Where did that come from? This is a man who just the other night, when going to speak before the Republican National Convention to accept the nomination, beforehand said he would not mention Joe Biden by name or attack the Democrats. That promise lasted for only 20 minutes, and then he went off again. And the comments he was making were horrible and bizarre and dangerous. This man can't be president again. So who do I want? Joe Biden? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Joe Biden is the man either. And here's for where we are right now, here's where I blame the Democrats. When Joe Biden ran back in 2020, he said he was going to be a transitional president. You didn't hold him to that. He basically said, I'll be one term, I'll stop Donald Trump from becoming president again, and I'll start getting this country back on track. And I'll lead us through COVID, and I'll turn the economy around. But in 4 years, I'm retiring, folks. Well, you didn't do that, Joe. And you didn't prepare your vice president the way that Barack Obama prepared you. Now, granted, yes, you had decades of civil service behind you as a member of the Senate. But where was Vice President Harris during all this time? Where was the Democratic Party saying, hey, who are we going to run in 2024? We know Trump's going to run again. Who are we going to run? You didn't elevate anybody. You didn't put anyone out into the national spotlight. So now that Joe Biden might be showing some cognitive decline, you've got no one to turn to. You have Vice President Harris, but for most Americans, myself included, I'm like, where's she been? Come on. You want us to have faith? All you want is for us to just sit there and say, okay, it's good enough to say don't vote for Trump. It's not good enough. And you've got to be better. And I hold the Democratic Party responsible for the mess that we are in now. God forbid that something should happen to President Biden. He's a good man. He deserves to be given the chance to go out a hero. And you're not doing that right now. You're sabotaging him. You're being very public about wanting to get him out of office. Or out, maybe not out of office, but of not running. Some of you would actually just like him to get out of office. Based on one debate. Based on one bad performance. 3.5 years of doing great things for this country. Turning the economy around. Getting jobs back to the American people. Standing up against Putin and everyone else in this world who tries to tear America down. All of that's forgotten for a 90-minute debate. Be ashamed of yourselves. Be ashamed. All of you Democrats out there, and especially those in Congress, should be saying no matter what happens, we are behind Joe Biden. Because we know we have a really good person as vice president if something should happen to President Biden. But we think Joe Biden is the best man, no matter how debates go, to beat Donald Trump. Because right now, even after the debates, even after the interviews on ABC and NBC, and the national polls, Donald Trump and Joe Biden are neck and neck. All of that didn't convince one person to switch from Biden to Trump and didn't convince one person to switch from Trump to Biden. All the undecideds are still the same. Nothing changed, folks, except your attitude. Got to get a better attitude. We're talking about America. We're talking about our country. And it's not going to get better just because we ignore it. If Donald Trump becomes president, this country and democracy as we know it is probably going away. And if you don't believe me, read Project 2025. We're going to talk about that in future episodes. He's already said he wants to get rid of the Department of Education. Why? Because if you get rid of people who think, no one can question what you're doing. He wants to get rid of Medicare and Social Security. What are we supposed to do for all the senior citizens that rely on that? Project 2025 wants to turn Medicare into Medicare Advantage. Why? Because that benefits the companies, the insurance companies, that run it. It means there's going to be less protection for seniors. That's not good. This is not good. And if you're younger, if you're in your 40s, you think it doesn't affect me, guess what, folks? You're going to get to that age. I used to be younger. I used to be in my 40s. It seems like yesterday. And suddenly I'm here. And I know I'm more vulnerable physically and emotionally and mentally. It's time to wake up. The election is coming. It's time to get better. I hope that you'll join me in future episodes as we talk about the future of America. And I hope that you will support me by hitting that subscribe button and that like button. I can't do this alone. Right now, I'm not asking you to do anything but just listen and spread the word. That's all I want you to do. And think. Use your mind, use your head. Stop thinking with your emotions all the time. Look at the world and say, is this the world I want to hand off to my kids? Do I want to go back to the way it was in the 50s and the 60s and the 40s? Do I really want to say that people who don't look like me are not as good as me and don't deserve the same rights as me? Do we really want to go back there? We were in such a better place. Do you remember what America was like after 9/11? We were scared, yeah, but we were a country again. How did that vanish so fast? All it took was electing a black man, I guess. A very competent, well-educated, hell of a president, black man. Folks, this is Bill Monty. Please join me the next time we get together to talk about America 451. We're going to start really going deep into some subjects here, and we're going to be talking about the headlines of the week before. Until that time, stay safe. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. America 451, signing out.